You're just a few minutes out, but you are light drive and
Thank you, Joe.
So I don't see anything inappropriate on the mics. Is that what you're saying? I don't think I am, Mike. I don't hear anything.
Good morning.
Oh, no, yeah, we woke up and we were like, well, I guess I gotta figure out how to do this cosplay somewhat before this starts. Exactly, that is just But thank you all for being so patient. I love this shit.
How about now?
A last minute voice check here. Paul.
Apparently having problems. We are already live on
how much
Twitch.
do you think you're not going to get recognized today?
I love it. I'm in plain sight today. It's wonderful.
That's great.
That's the way to go.
I'm gonna throw these horns on.
All right.
I sit loud.
I know it's early, but everybody's at home. Josh, it's your call. Whatever you.
I mean, I'm happy to start up. I don't know that I have a microphone right now.
Well,
you gotta speak louder.
Bring it in. Bring it in. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
All right, I can do that. I can do that.
There's mine.
You
It
does. Well, I'm also worried
because
'cause I'm-
panel after this.
Hashtag self-promotion.
Hashtag self-promotion.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I think we can start. I think we can get this rolling. It's 10 a.m. at Dragon Con.
Yay!
People are a
That's
little
more awake than I
delirious from whatever
expected.
happened last night. We won't get into that. Don't worry. No one's asking any questions. I hear that and respect it. I got to bed a little bit earlier myself, but I knew that I needed to be on a panel at 10 a.m. So I had that weighing on me the whole time I was out partying.
No, there's not enough coffee. I don't know how.
No.
I went to bed at 1.
Never enough coffee.
But there's Red Bull.
There's Red Bull. That's good.
So welcome everyone to the Streaming Beyond Gaming panel. Last year we were Twitch Beyond Video Games, and we brought together most of the panelists from last year, and then we got a bonus Chelsea, which is very exciting.
Yay!
Good morning.
So just to kind of start things off, let's talk a little bit about who we are and what projects we're working on. And I'm going to start on my right here with the lovely Faydra Black.
Hi, I am Faydra Black, and I do stream video games on Twitch, but I also stream Lego builds and cooking streams and randomness that makes no sense sometimes. Just talking and hanging out with the cats, so just kind of fun. The Lego builds is kind of my main thing for the non-video game stuff. All the different Harry Potter sets. We've done random Star Wars sets. People send me Legos and I build those because it's kind of an expensive habit, but it's still fun to watch.
Okay.
Emily.
I am Emily Swan. I am a swan named Emily across the internet. So I have my own personal art stream that I stream every Friday afternoon. Most Fridays afternoon, not yesterday. I also run the Doodle Crew, which is a group of artists. We get together and pick a prompt, and then for a few hours, all of us draw that prompt. So it's a whole bunch of different rotating cast artists, and we chat and we talk different ways to make art. And then I also work on sketching Shakespeare with the amazing Kruggles and Protest Too Much podcast. So she brings me a piece of Shakespeare prose, and then I illustrate a comic based on it. So all the art, all the time.
My name's Josh Maltby. I am Black Cloak DM on Twitter, but you can find me at Quid Pro Roll, which is our actual play podcast, or Goblins and Growlers, which is the Dungeons and Dragons event company that I am a co-owner of. For streams, I do a few different things that aren't really gaming oriented. I do a Dungeons and Dragons roundtable that we call DMMD. We do that on Facebook Live. That's Dungeon Masters Mastering Dungeons. And then I also do, I was doing doodles for a while, and then they were like, we want to get really educational with this. And I was like, well, I need to learn things. I don't know that you want me on that stream constantly asking questions. And they were like, it might break up the flow a little bit. I was like, you know what? I have enough projects right now anyway. If y'all need an extra host, bring me in for doodles. It'll be fun. And then additionally, I do a stream once a month for a digital book club where we talk about fantasy and sci-fi books. We have read a literal boatload of books since the beginning of quarantine, which is when we were like, hey, none of us can go to any book clubs, but we all are still reading things. We all still want to talk about books. Let's do it digital. So that's been a ton of fun. Pass it over to Chelsea.
Good morning. Hi. And I just got to give Emily all her props for her art is just immaculate. We got to do a one shot with Emily, and she came back with this really, really cool piece of the whole crew and brought me to some tears. Yeah, it was nice. Thanks, Emily.
You're very welcome.
Hi, I'm ChelseaBytes, and I am also a Twitch streamer. And honestly, if you come to my channel, it's just a lot of me talking. Just a lot of that. You sit down, it's like, wow, she's been talking for 3 hours. I did a 12-hour stream, and I talked for 5 of those hours.
Oh my goodness.
5 in a row. Didn't stop. Didn't take any breaks. Just 5 hours. But besides me talking so much, I do a lot of mini events on my own channel. So I love cooking. It's great. I love to hear. We got chefs right here at the table. Made an Oreo burger.
Nice.
It's wonderfully disgusting. It was awesome.
I went through like the Overwatch cookbook and did like for like gaming related recipes and
Oh.
stuff like that. And we have the WoW cookbook and stuff too. So it's
Bless
always
you
fun.
for having a theme. I hop up. I'm like, guys, let's just make it gross. Why not? We do that, and then we also like to do giveaways, of course. And I tend to stick with video games because I like doing a whole bunch of different variety. But then it always ends up going back to computers. So my thing is building computers live. I enjoy that. We just raised $4,000 for our next computer, and that is going to be absolutely nuts because this is our first funded community PC. So, excited for that.
Heck yeah.
Thank you. But besides when I'm just chilling on my own channel, trying to come up with ways to entertain people, I'm also on other TTRPGs that I like to just hang out and just Leroy Jenkins everything because that's that's my vibe. Doing Damsel's Dice and Everything Nice every Saturday. We just did Dungeons and Do-Rags last week, so we'll be doing it when we come back in next week. That's gonna be so fun. Playing Tabashi and a Warlock on both. It's fun.
That game is so fun to
And
watch.
so you're so critical and tier. And there you go. Yeah, it's just a whole. It's a mess. It's a wonderful
The best
mess.
kind of mess.
It's the best, literally the best kind of mess. But besides that, I also like to run my old role play as well on my channel. And then we actually have to do our first backpack IRL stream here at Dragon Con. I've been going to Dragon Con since way before I started streaming. So it just felt really special to bring my channel here. We built the backpack. It was stressful. My husband stayed up and was just messing with all the settings up until 4 a.m. on Friday night. It was wonderful. but yeah, those are the ways that I stream, the ways that I bring my people in, and that's who I am. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Ellie.
And I am Ellie Collins. Primarily, I run ATL by Night, which is a Vampire the Masquerade campaign set in the city of Atlanta.
So good.
And additionally, I also co-run a stream with my partner called Sugar Axe. Right now we're gaming because we're building our studio setup, but we're going to be doing a lot of cooking on it. I want to cook my way through the Skyrim cookbook because I love that cookbook. And we do a whole bunch of other stuff. Right now it's primarily me forcing him to play dating sims. And he just started Dream Daddy. We're already taking bets on who he's going to romance.
They're all good.
All of them.
All of them. And I am also on What Streams May Come, which is a Shakespeare stream. Yeah. And what makes that stream so fun is everyone is cast using a randomizer. So we got a very wonderful lesbian retelling of Romeo and Juliet, thanks to the randomizer. It was beautiful, best version of Romeo and Juliet I've seen. We just did, what was the one we just did? We did King Henry, and then I think we did Macbeth. It was something like that. We're doing the historical plays right now. But yeah, those are, I think they're every other month. And that's over on Chaotic Tiefling. Love working with that crew because sometimes we wind up with hilarious interpretations where King Henry was essentially the Muppets and I was King Henry as the one human. So it's just a really fun time and a really fun way to just continue doing Shakespeare now that all of us can't be in a theater together. But that's primarily what I do, as well as being on every TTRPG stream that asks.
That's a dangerous thing to state on a panel.
Oh, trust me, I know. I know. I tried to make a resume of all the shows I've been on and got to October where everyone wanted the horror person on their spooky game. And I was like, oh, I've hit 23 credits. What did I do?
Goodness.
So real quick, before we get fully started, Faydra, if I could ask you to Vanna White with the Big Brothers Big Sisters sign.
Yeah.
So DragonCon Digital Media Track this year is raising money for Big Brothers Big Sisters in Metro Atlanta. It is a peer program where mentors get mentees. These are kids that are in at-risk situations that really could use a little bit of support. And part of what your funding does is allow those mentors to take those kids out and do enriching activities such as going to, aquariums or museums or things like that, where the mentors themselves may not be able to be like, oh yeah, every weekend I go out and drop 30 or 40 bucks on taking these kids out to museums and things like that. Your money can help support activities such as those. And DragonCon is matching donations right now. So making those donations, you then make DragonCon spend more money on Big Brothers Big Sisters as well, which I think is a win-win. So check that out. The hashtag for, if you're going to be sharing on social media for this year's DragonCon Digital Media Track, is DragonCon DMT 2021. So add that to anything you're going to be sharing out, because then it'll all become part of one big conversation, and it'll be easier for us to do things like find it and retweet and like and things like that ourselves. Ooh, I didn't know we had a feed behind us. Yes,
Fancy.
indeed.
Special.
Yes.
All right, let's get into the meat of what we're going to be talking about today. So we've talked a little bit about what we do that is non-gaming streams, and I'll let y'all kind of jump in as you feel comfortable. Why is streaming a good home for the content you are making? Why that particular medium and not something like, I don't know, YouTube videos?
Active community engagement during the process. We love, I actually have our stream for ATL by Night up on a side screen because we produce in a studio. So I have a whole studio deck in front of me and I keep the chat open. So then when we're doing a big party scene, if the chat's like, oh, I wonder what such NPC is wearing. Oh, I wonder if she's at the party, and they have a whole conversation about it. So I'm like, all right. Next moment, I'm going to just let her walk in a nice, gorgeous dress. So we get to engage with our community in a really active way that I think if we were just producing in the studio and then putting it online, it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and take this then. If you meet me, I'm not an editor. That takes. I have to just.
The honest answer.
It's the honest answer. I to bring up that willpower to just sit and stare and cut and paste and edit. It's not me. But over my lifetime, whenever I interact with people, if it's just in this space, I've always been told, "Oh yeah, you should have a talk show. You should just sit down and just run a network or something." I'm like, "Yeah, that's feasible. I can hop up and be Oprah for 5 seconds. I don't know.
So easy.
Right? It's so simple." But I think streaming for me was just that gateway of like, oh yeah, I can talk to people. It's nice. Yeah, I can see your reaction to something that I did and get instant gratification for it. I can put on a mask and be like, hey, how does this look? And they're like, wow, Chelsea, it's hideous. You won. And I think that hits at the core of who I am, is just having this dialogue. While it may not always be in person, it's still something instant. Like I can still connect to you wherever you are. So that's why I've chosen that media, because I don't think I could have survived on any other platform. Just being purely myself now, I feel like that's just no filter for me. And editing, while I'm very impressed with all of you who can edit, I feel like I come through the most when I'm just like, I'm here, I'm live, how you doing? What's going on? How's your day? It's always a, hey, how's your day type of conversation. So, yeah.
I think there is a little bit more like audience forgiveness when it's not something that's like direct to YouTube, because they're like, oh, well, why didn't you cut out like these bits and things like that? Where if it's just a stream, they're like, well, of course you did, because you were in the moment. And you're just living your life.
Every little bit.
When the cat jumps up and sits on the keyboard and
Constantly.
changes your screens all the time. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
people think it's like, oh, it's a kitty. Oh, it's so cool.
And you
But
meanwhile
if
are
it's
like,
edited, it's like, why is this all messed up?
I was like, don't bite the wire, don't bite the wire. Yeah, no. Now there's a channel reward point that you can do for me to go and get my cat, because I think she gets more interest than I do, which is
Yeah,
fine. She's
we
lovely.
do
I have
the
a channel
same.
reward for a
We
cat
do the
treat.
same on Sugar Axe
love
because the cats are
this.
going to get in the stream.
I understand
whether
my
you like it or not.
audience.
Exactly.
I know what they're
You
there
get
for.
channel points, get treats for the cat. and,
Exactly.
hey.
Yeah. So as far as mine went, a lot of my streaming really came from initial lockdown. I work part-time as a teacher, and I'm an art teacher. So that was kind of a hard thing. I was trying to find ways to get to the kids, interact with them while they were at home, and find things for them to do, or even just, because he's a huge inspiration, be Rob Ross. I'm like, hey, for an hour, kids, you can come, you can hang out with me. Let's draw some cartoons. Like, let's do something fun, and working on that. But it was very much then the chat interaction. Like I didn't have the desire to produce full tutorial videos about how I do stuff, because a lot of times I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, don't listen to me. I'm just figuring this out. Like, laugh with me as I draw terrible things. But I liked the idea of having people pop into chat and be like, hey, what are you working on right now? What software are you using? What things are you doing? Because that's easy for me to talk about. I can talk about what I'm doing. I can talk about where I went to school and how I've gotten to, making comics and all of that. And that was very easy to have people supplying me questions and asking me specific stuff about art. And it has then moved into, now I get crazy suggestions from the audience. I was like, hey, what if you drew this? I'm like, oh my gosh. And then we could draw this and, come out of it with 4 different brain stickers, which didn't make any sense beforehand. But now I was like, these are hilarious and I love them and I'm going to sell them on Etsy. So it's that type of fun. And it's when Doodle Crew came from that, I missed the creative energy of working in a studio with other artists. I missed being around, even if you're all at your own computer, at your own desk, working independently with your headphones on. Like, someone just needs to say something and you'll start laughing and the creative vibe will change in the room. And it's the most intoxicating thing, because then you're just amped on the art of it. So even though we were all remote, even though we were all trapped at home, it forced us for 3 hours to sit down, be silly, create art together, bounce ideas off of each other, and just get genuine feedback. Like, hey, I need someone else to look at my art. I need someone else other than, be like, hey, Mom, what do you think? She's like, yeah, looks good. I'm like, okay, but it doesn't. So I need something a little bit more. Like, thank you. No, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. That was wonderful. But I need a little bit more. So it was that community. And then to have the chat component to it and have people interact with us and give us prompts and give us suggestions. Like, it made the community feel that much better and just made us want to keep creating art.
God, the concept of getting art critiqued online as I'm drawing terrifies me.
It's
Yeah, no,
I can't
no.
draw, so yeah. That's nice. I've done like live streams with makeup, and people critique that, and I'm just like, I'm not even done yet. Can I at least put my eyeliner on straight first?
It's a process.
It's the journey.
process.
Let's enjoy the
I
journey.
know I put my eyelashes on crooked. I can feel it. I'll move it in a minute. No, for me, for Twitch, is I really got involved in Twitch because I was a stay-at-home mom, and I just wanted to talk to people. I was like, I'm literally just dealing with a child all day long, because at the time, my husband managed a restaurant, so he was working like 80 hours a week. So literally me, child, and I'm like, I need interaction. And I already played video games, because I've played video games my entire life. So it's like, well, I'm already going to be doing this. So why can't I just talk to people while I do it? So it ended up getting into that. And then it was like, well, I don't want to do just video games. I want to do this and I want to do this. And since I'm kind of random anyway, it just kind of made more sense to just include all of the other things that I'm doing when I'm streaming, whether it's like makeup or Legos or cooking, or I do the little diamond art things. I think it was last October, there was literally 2 or 3 streams that I was literally coloring in a coloring book. And people were talking and watching me color. And I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. This is so much fun. I'm coloring. And people are talking. And it just made like days so much better. Because as a stay-at-home mom, like you really do get really lonely. Because you don't have a lot to relate to people that are working full-time. Not everybody else really cares about you talking about your child 24/7 because it's your child, not theirs. So having other ways to just interact with people was very, very, very nice. And then when a couple years later when COVID happened, just like, now you still have that community of friends and people where you don't feel as isolated. And this definitely probably helped a lot of people get through things. Because I stream during the day. And I have a lot of people that sit at home when they started working from home and would watch the streams while they're working. And I use closed captions on my stream, so you can read my streams like if you're in a meeting. So you can listen to your meeting, but you can, read the stream and still participate without actually having to listen, which makes it a lot easier. So
That's awesome.
I dig. For my content specifically, I wanted something that was going to be interactive. It needed that component of some of it, like the Dungeon Master Roundtable. That's kind of educational, but we mostly, it's myself, Alex, and our friend Gabe, who Alex is the owner of a comic book store. So we just run the show out of the comic book store after hours, which is fun. So we've got all the D&D merch behind us the whole time. And when we did these in person at first. And so we would just like pass around like a plushie for when people wanted to talk. And when we had to go remote because, COVID, we were like, well, how do we keep kind of that same atmosphere of interaction? So we moved it not to Twitch, but to Facebook Live on the Alpha Comics website, on the Facebook page. And we still wanted that level of interaction where it's like, we are going to talk about a thing, yes, and we are going to be your source matter experts, but we want to hear from you as well because you've had experiences at the table that we haven't, and things like that. With the book club, I don't know what you would call a book club where 3 people get up and they sit there and they talk about their thoughts on the book and you just watch and nod. Like, that doesn't seem like a book club to me. That seems like a book dissertation.
When you're the shy kid in school, that's every book club.
Well, I think the thing is, I want to have that space for both people, right?
Yeah.
Like, I want the people who are really outgoing, who are like, oh my God, in chapter 4, when it turns out that like the villain is actually the hero's brother. Whoa. Like, I want people to be jumping in and very excited about things like that. While the people who are like, I never talk in book club are like, now I never have to talk in book club.
Yeah.
I can be quiet and no one looks at me weird for it.
The beauty of the internet.
Right, like getting included at your level of comfort, I think is huge for something like Twitch or Facebook Live or whatever you might be streaming on, because there is the one person who is like, hey, I'm willing to be completely out here right now. Everybody else, get in here as much as you want.
Exactly.
I think that's incredibly powerful.
Yeah. That's how I run all my role-playing games now. I'm like, hey, I might have a camera on. I may DM. Who knows? We'll see.
Tune in to find out.
Yeah, show up.
See what happens.
So the next thing I kind of wanted to get into is, how did you pick the platform that you're on? Be that Twitch, be that Facebook Live. How did you end up there and not on one of the competitors? Why aren't you doing like YouTube Live or something like that?
That's where everyone else was. The honest answer, every other TTRPG was on Twitch, and so it allows us the chance to raid each other, participate in each other's stuff, host each other. That was where the community was.
Literally that. I was watching some of my favorite YouTubers, and they'd throw off to Twitch, and I was like, what is this site? Like, why do I have to go here to watch you play a game? Like, we could have just did this on YouTube. But then I saw that some of my friends were on Twitch, and I was like, oh, well, now let me go bug people. Let me go bug my friends on Twitch. Yeah. And then I thought I could do what they were doing, and that's just how it happened.
Yeah, I was very, very new to all of it. I was familiar with being on camera and doing that type of stuff and teaching, which I had done a lot of Zoom teaching, but as far as a more open platform for that, and honestly, because it's cheesy and I like to say it, it was DragonCon 2019 where I talked to the digital media track. They're like, why aren't you streaming your art? I'm like, because I don't know what that means. I don't know what you're asking me. They're like, here, do this, and then go. I'm like, and I'm not good. They're like, I don't care. Do it anyways. And that's kind of how it happened. Like, it was nice to have the support and having, like you guys said, there were already people there and there were people who knew how to do it. And while I like figuring stuff out for myself, sometimes it's daunting and it's frustrating to be confronted with a whole new platform, a whole new way of doing stuff that you've been doing up to that point. And I was like, I don't have a mic. Like, I don't know anything about this. Like, the art part of it, the digital tablets, I can talk your ear off about that. But that's only a small component of this. So having resources and friends who were excited about this platform and excited about its opportunities for something that wasn't just video games was great. And their push, like, I started figuring it out and we kind of did it. And then because I'm sane, I was like, hey, all of my friends who also have never done this, you know what you should do? You should turn on your webcam and we should all draw. And they're like, really? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. So it was that I'm such a proponent of platforms that are already made for me that I don't have to personally develop, like website where I can just upload my stuff and it's done. That's a beautiful thing. And that's what Twitch was. So all I had to do was build my personal element at home and then click go live and you're there. And you can instantly start creating content. And that, I think, for me was the hardest step. It was clicking that go live the first time because all of a sudden I'm talking to the internet and I don't usually talk to the internet. Oh no. And after that first one, then we did it again, and we did it again, and it got to be more fun. I was like, okay, well, now I want to change my interface, and now I want to try this, and now I went like, okay, well, I saw someone else do this. We rated into someone. I'm like, well, how do you do that? I want to do that. That looks cool. So it opened up, and for us, it worked out great because there's a whole art tag on Twitch. You can literally find a whole community of artists. You can find just chatting. You can do all the different things, and you can find your specific people even more in this platform that already has such a robust and diverse group.
I mean, everybody was using Twitch. It's like, and it was connected to my Amazon account, so it was just kind of there. And
The answer is peer pressure.
yeah,
Yeah.
really, pretty much. Everybody else is doing it.
I think that's plenty of justification for picking Twitch, which because everything you all have said is literally why I picked Twitch in the first place. For the Facebook live streams for DMMD, it was because we wanted alpha still like tied integrally into the streams themselves. The one downside that we've run into running them on Facebook Live is that not everybody has a Facebook. And so our community, because they're beautiful, has started live streaming the Facebook Live into our community Discord.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
And passing questions forward into Facebook so that people who don't Facebook ever, for whatever reason that may be, don't have to.
For people like me, like I keep my Facebook is like my personal life, and then all my other social medias are the content creator. So I don't ever use Facebook or Facebook Live for things like that because I don't want to mix the two sides of my life.
Oh, for sure.
So it's like I would never do Facebook gaming or Facebook Live stuff if I'm doing it from a content perspective because, you know, my child.
Yeah.
Keep things separate.
Yeah, I think the separation is important. So we run it off of the Alpha Comics Facebook page, which means none of us have to commit our personal Facebooks to it, which is a nice thing to do. If you're going to run things on Facebook, I recommend you create a brand page and run things from that so that people aren't just like, I could just friend this person. And then we can talk all the time at all hours and I can send them random messenger like pictures and other things. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Do a brand page. Do a brand page. It's the better way. So what, just kind of like moving down the line, what do you think your community brings to spaces like Twitch that is beneficial overall? Like what does your community create that you think really improves lives?
Feedback. The active feedback, especially when our sound goes out. They're
Oh,
like,
no.
you're muted. We're like, oh no, because we record live in a studio, and we started that before COVID hit, and then COVID hit. We just spent a lot of money on this setup. Everyone's getting tested weekly, right? And so we did that, but our community is able to give us active feedback, especially with our story. We get really good feedback on because we're a horror show and our story is really intense and can be upsetting sometimes. So getting some like, hey, can you trigger warning for this in the future? And it's something that we didn't even think about because we're like, well, we're vampires. And then we're like, oh, okay, yeah. And so through their feedback, we have a content warning that goes up. It's a chat command, so our mods can actually throw it whenever stuff starts to get hairy. And then our community loved our world so much that the feedback we got from them was they were like, can we make it like a thing, like maybe through Patreon so we can give you money for it? But like, we want to play with you guys somehow. Like, we know we can't be on the show. And so we made a play-by-post Discord server that's a Patreon goal. And they signed up yearly for it. They hit that annual membership. They're like, yes, immediately. Thank you. And they have helped influence us sometimes because they get into shenanigans that we're like, well, we're going to have to account for that now. Thank you. And so their active feedback and participation, I think, makes us better.
They're literally expanding your world minute by minute.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
Yeah. I think that's that beauty of a community. And since nobody else is going to say it, money. Yeah. That's the energy I love.
I hit it with Patreon.
Yeah. We got there with Patreon, but no. Besides I think that's a one very small way that they can absolutely show their gratification. It's literally how they built my stream. Like every piece of my stream down to the mixer, the chair, they bought that just because they wanted me to have that to continue to do what I do. In return, I basically just come up with all of these ideas for them to torture me. So it's just a fun way that they've made every single event on my stream. Every Friday I do something different. We have this thing that we call We Go Out streams. Before, it was funny, I came up with it right before COVID hit. So I was gonna take them out to a restaurant. And I was like, yeah, guys, you're gonna order whatever you want on the menu. I'm taking you out. We're gonna have a good time. This is the one time we can have dinner together as a family. And then that happened. I was like, restaurants are out. So let's get the green screen up and I'm gonna take you to India. Let's go to France. Let's try to go to Lagos or something. Places I've never been. I've never left the States. So I was just like, I'm just gonna throw something up there and we'll pretend. And I get in a car. I literally have a car that I just sit in on the stream in my little fake car. And I will drive them to this fake location for them to sit at this fake place where I'll have a real meal where they can't eat. And they love it. It is awful. But they'll get some of the best and the worst food, and we will sit and we will have dinner together. And that's an event that they made, and I did it just for fun. I was like, we're just gonna try this out, and now it's a consistent thing. And it comes back to that feedback that you were discussing. When people are participating in what you're doing, they make it too. Their hands are on it. They're making it with you, and it's up to you to listen, even to the smallest things. Like someone like, oh, it might be cool if you just name this, McRatterson. What's the I have them name my computers. We build our computers. They name them some ChelseaBytes a lot. It's so great. I love ChelseaBytes. That's my gaming PC. Yes, if you look on my network, you will see ChelseaBytes a lot.
Is that with a Y?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Oh yeah, of course. Oh yeah, we may bite on the side, but that's our Bits and Bytes diner. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so gratifying as a viewer to come back and see something that you might have just mentioned and it's there. So that is what I think the community brings. Not only do they bring a technical expertise, because I have a lot of people have a lot of opinions. I'm very opinionated, so we like to go back and forth and debate. And I'm like, well, why are you right? I'm right. And how dare you insinuate that I'm right and you're somehow also right? Because I never like telling people that they're wrong. I can't help myself. But it's also just that debate that liveliness, whether you have 20 viewers or 100, like just having the chat flowing is always nice. And you can get that even with 500 followers, 50 followers, 10 followers. I've seen it. There are people with 20 followers who have a flowing chat. And that for me is the most gratifying thing. That's always my goal. Having someone conversating all the time. Like, we can sit here all day. You're going to say something. But yeah, that's what I think they bring. Just this wonderful molding clay to the string.
My community, I'm gonna brag on them a little bit. They are some wholesome beings.
Aww.
Love them so much.
Wholesome
What
community.
is that?
I don't know exactly how I've managed to pull that off, but we're a little strict in the Discord. I think that's a lot of it. Is like we are a no nonsense space. Like if you are like, hey, that's not cool, then it has to stop immediately, or you will get banned.
Oh yeah, like ours behave, but we have a horny jail chat for a reason.
Oh, that's fair. The vampires though. Like,
Yeah.
A little different.
Resident Evil 8 was a dark time on our server.
It's the dark timeline.
So the way the community ends up working is that we have a lot of people who are already deep in the community, and they just go out and they find other people and they're like, you need to come be part of this like band of fans, because we read books and we talk about D&D and we talk about all these different things, and you got to get in here and be part of this. And so we end up with this really wholesome, like, oh, like I love this book too. Oh, I also love this book. Even when they're disagreeing on stuff, hot take. We read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and we didn't like it as a book that much. I know, it's horrifying. And we were like, why did we have so much trouble with this book? Like, as a community, we were like, this wasn't as good as I remembered it being. And the problem is, the movie does such a good job of taking the source material and cutting out kind of the bits that aren't quite as good and giving you just like a pristine, like 100% quality product, that when you go back to the book after having watched the movie multiple times, you're like, I don't remember there being slow parts. What is this?
Oh man, I'd have been like, did you read the part with the whale?
I mean, the part with the whale is amazing, but it's also in the movie.
That's all you need. That would have been the debate for me.
More whale content.
So
Got
the
it.
community was obviously a little divided on this, because we had a lot of people who were like, yeah, I honestly, I know this is weird, but I think the movie actually might be better. And other parts of the community were like, how dare you? But even that was kept like really civil and very like positive. It was like, you know what? I respect that you like the movie more. I think you're wrong, but I respect it. Like, we don't have to fight over this. And I was like, they don't have to fight? Really? That's so magical.
There's little hearts popping up all around your head.
Oh, yes. Oh,
So precious.
I love my community so much.
There's violence every time.
There are many ways to do it. There's no wrong way.
So many ways.
But I think to that point, and it was something great that you mentioned, like having a really good moderator, either one or many, depending on the size of your community, that makes a big, big difference. And especially if the person that you have moderating for you is aware of the type of stream you're trying to run or the type of community you're trying to build, that's something that you can get right from the start and build from there. I'll say for the art part of it, it's kind of a loner thing, especially art on the internet. So I was excited to connect with the people, like the communities that built up around DeviantArt and the communities around Tumblr and that type of stuff, which can be kind of a solitary existence, but then also those tight-knit communities that come from that. And because life as an artist, as we've moved forward into the digital age, is so much about networking and who you know and getting your art out there and getting views on it and working together, like that was a big part of it. And wanting to shout out my amazing friends who I love their art. Like, they inspire me. I want to show their art to everybody else. I'm like, look at these cool people that I get to know. And like, they don't tell me to go away. This is amazing. Like, I like that part of it. So we can shout out each other and we can work together. And then, like we were saying before, the level of interaction that you want, if you want to commission us, if you want to talk to us directly, you can. If you just want to lurk and watch us make art, that's fine too. And like that part of it is so important to me. I think partially because I do work with a lot of like middle school students, and they are the most glorious weirdos, and I love them, but they're so shy, and it's such a hard time. And I want them to see like, it's okay. It's okay. If you just want to lurk and watch us make art, that's fine. And if you want to do more, you can do more, but if not, but also here are here's 20 different artists who are all weird and make different art and do different art as their livelihood.
Now, Emily, you know you're downplaying it, right? When
I am much
hopped on
weirder in
Twitch-
person.
Oh no, not the weirdness. Not the weirdness. I'm talking about when I hopped on Twitch, the amount of artists that I met like tripled. Like, so I was like, so my whole Twitter's art now. My Twitch, I'm following like 50 different artists that
So
I just
many wonderful
love.
ones. It's like,
Yes,
it's
you
my
guys, they move like a pack.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, so we're rating this person who also makes emotes, and they also do like these traditional art pieces on the side. I'm like, whoa, it is
It's so
no
cool.
joke. Like, the art community was the first community before me talking. I met artists on Twitch, and they're everywhere. So
Yeah.
I just yeah.
I love watching the process because I can barely draw stick people. So watching people create things is like, that's so cool.
Do
How
more,
you
do more.
it? But I'm never gonna figure it out. So yeah.
It's almost cathartic at times because it's like, oh, what is this? You've got like these really swoopy shapes right now.
And then it becomes
You
something.
made that?
It's so beautiful.
How? Oh man, it's wonderful. Like, they streamed it all in front of me, but I still just how'd you do that?
Sorcery.
It's like my community, like I love my community. They're awesome. My community during the day is a lot of lurkers because they don't chat as much, but everyone like interjects into the conversation. But like with my community, one of my most like favorite things is my daughter's 7. So her 7th birthday and her 6th birthday have been during COVID. And her birthday's in April. So last year, literally the world shuts down right before her birthday when she was in kindergarten. So it's going to be her first time to be able to have like a friend birthday party. So we all had to pretty much cancel everything like a couple of weeks before. But I was talking about it with my community, and what we ended up doing is doing a birthday party for her in Animal Crossing on my stream.
Yes.
And she had a wish list on Amazon. So my community sent her birthday presents.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
And then on the stream, I put anything that was donated during the stream was to her. So people came in and donated bits and did PayPal donations. Like, she got like $200 plus like 20 presents. And she's just like, it was like the coolest thing ever for her last year. And then we did the same thing this year because we couldn't really plan parties and things like that. And she just thinks it's the coolest thing because she goes to Twitch Atlanta and all of our events here. She goes to those. So she has her own Instagram where she's like the mascot of the Twitch Atlanta like group. And so she goes and sees all of these things, and she goes to the event. She's gone to DreamHack. Like, she was going to go to TwitchCon because she has her own streamers that she watches at this point. But it's just like that community just coming together and making sure that she had a good birthday when like the whole world was falling apart was just like a really amazing thing. And without Twitch and without streaming, there would not have been that.
I'm too pregnant. That's gonna make me cry.
No, that is heart melting.
It's a beautiful
Yeah, she took
story.
your wholesome and was like, let me show you how it's done. I'm gonna wholesome the crap out of this.
Let me add small children to that wholesomeness.
Right?
How you like them apples?
Y'all are sweet. Wow. So early in the morning for all this sugar.
we just have untold violence on my stream.
Oh man.
Now,
that's
when she plays Overwatch, though, it's violent. Like, she is like, because she on our YouTube channel is videos of her playing games. So I video when she plays Overwatch. Yeah. When she did Fall Guys,
Oh no.
that was so. I think she was almost in tears. She was so angry at everybody.
So frustrating.
But when she does the Overwatch, and she's literally going, "You're supposed to heal me. How come you let me die? We need a healer over here." And I'm like,
I was gonna ask if she was an angry Mercy. Absolutely. I really
she
was.
is so funny though. But it's like, and I'm like, "Why do you want to do this?" She's like, "Because you do, mommy. I'm gonna do it too."
Here it is.
Right?
They're watching
watching your every move. On screen and behind the screen.
we keep joking about that on our Sugar Axe streams when we were doing Resident Evil because I kept getting scared. The baby kept like freaking out, and I was like, "He's gonna hit partner before I do."
So, kind of, that's actually a good segue. You're talking about like doing some gaming streams. How do you bridge that content, or do you bridge that content? I know some people will run whole separate channels for their gaming stuff versus their non-gaming stuff. How do you all, as creators, handle that divide?
So we go by brand because I also work for Gehenna Gaming, and so for ATL by night we play horror games, vampire games, because we do 2 months on, 2 months off for our show season. And then in the off season, like right now, we're playing Dead by Daylight, and it's me as the killer versus the cast and crew. And chat's wonderful. They cottoned on to the fact that I apparently have a laugh identical to Trickster, and they love pointing that out as I'm maniacally giggling while chasing down my cast. We're just going, "Come on, bestie, let me put you on the hook." And so we keep to the horror and vampire related stuff on the ATL stream, and same with Gehenna. We do horror gaming over there, but then Sugar Axe, we have been doing stuff that's not like our regular brands that people know us of, because it's just me and my partner. So dating sims, we did Power Wash Simulator every morning for coffee, which was very cathartic for a game.
Oh yeah.
Getting stuff clean.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a nice way to start your day, just like really getting those clean lines off of a helicopter. And you know, just like stuff that doesn't fit our regular brands. So we made something because it was not necessarily partitioning off the gaming, but partitioning off gaming that wasn't the brand that people come to our channel for.
That makes sense.
I like that. I'm the opposite. Well,
You're a one-stop shop.
all right, yeah, no, that's not necessarily the opposite, because I do still separate things. Like I'm working for Amazon and AMC, so those are completely different things from what I do on my channel. Like I'm very, very silly, really just about everywhere, but there's a different type of silly that I'm at when I'm at work, if that makes sense. I like to bridge it in a way where we have moments where I'll do maybe, "Hey guys, you remember that show that I was doing, last week? That happens here." That's where we can go and talk about that stuff or do these things, or you can vote and see me interacting with other people. But here, we will talk for at least, my goal is to always talk for at least an hour and a half on anything. Like literally anything. "How was your day?" "Oh man, I had a sandwich." "Oh, did you hear what they were doing in Texas? That was wild. I'm really disappointed, X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah." Like anything. Like it can literally, you'll come back 10 minutes later and it's like a whole different ball field of what we're discussing. So in that sense, it's like the sky's the limit. But when it comes to anything that pertains to any role play that I'm doing, that's always on another channel. If I'm doing any of my hosting, it's always done on another channel. I may make kind of like odes or facades to it whenever I might replicate like a RPG on my channel. I'd be like, "Okay guys, this is me. This is my story. I know you get to see me do a whole bunch of other stories, but this one is mine." And then if I do my own little hosting gig, this is my hosting gig. So when you come to my channel, it's flavored towards me. It's me. But yeah, everything else y'all keep on y'all's channels, so I can physically be like, "Yes, I'm somewhere else and I need to behave as such."
Oh, we'll just have you on ATL. You'll never behave.
Of course not. I'm gonna be a little hellion, yes.
I'm gonna say we don't really do the divide at Goblins and Growlers. The exception being for DMMD, since that's on Facebook Live. There's a little bit of a divide there, but even that, we advertise it in all the same places we would advertise any of our other streams. So it ends up being kind of like if you are interested in any of these things, you can follow us and come check them out, and we'll try to give you enough context in the title to know what we're doing tonight.
Right.
Just show up, have a good time. That's what we're here for.
That's right.
Yeah. To video games specifically, I don't play them on Twitch because I'm really bad at them. I love them very much, but I am so bad. So I know I have. So it's funny because I think a lot of people would be very nervous about putting their art up and getting critiqued. That doesn't bother me anymore. I went through college. I was broken plenty. Like, I feel nothing now.
Right.
But I'm so self-conscious about being that bad at video games, even though I've been playing for a long time. Like, that's a totally different thing where I'm just like,
I'm so bad.
I'm so
Some of the
bad.
games I play. Oh my god.
But also, like, the community I was talking about, all of them do it really well. Like, so I just set up like my channel to host them, and I was like, look, it's hosting on there. That's like I'm playing video games. So I like that part of it. It's something I've been toying with now that I've been streaming more, and it's the, do I want to make this jump and make the investment? So I'm thinking about it. But as far as do it, little devil on my shoulders, let's do it. So as far as keeping brand stuff separate, I will say when we started Doodle Crew, we knew we wanted to brand that specific, but because my Twitch channel had made affiliate at that point and that allowed us some stuff, we just run it through my channel. So it's still all art. So I try and keep all the art content there. If I end up streaming games, I might branch that off separate, but it's weird because the brand is also my name. So it's kind of like my art brand is a part.
That's what I do. I like when I literally do by day. So like Tuesday was Animal Crossing day, Wednesday was WoW, Thursday was my random game day, and then Friday was like my diamond painting Lego.
Yeah.
And I did that because it was the end of the week with everybody watching me from work. Friday doing the Legos or the cooking or the diamond paintings was just kind of like a relaxing end to the week. So it was kind of,
yeah.
And a lot of people like started referring to it as like the visual ASMR. They just kind of watch it, and it was relaxing. And I play music that I can actually play on stream because we have a content creator with the Atlanta group that actually now lives in Japan as of like last month. But he makes royalty-free music. It's actually on Apple Music and Spotify and stuff that is for content creators that are royalty-free.
Heck yeah.
And the guy's name's actually Dorwolf. So you can actually look that up, and it literally, you can play it, and all the songs on one of them are actually named off of roads and stuff in Atlanta. So it's really kind of cool.
Awesome.
But it's really chill background music that you can just kind of play and not have to worry about it there's no words. So it's just like, it's a chill thing.
Yeah.
But you just kind of separate it by day
I
for
like
me.
that.
So like if you want to watch me play Animal Crossing, you're going to come hang out on Tuesday. If you want to watch the Lego stuff, that's on Friday. It really just kind of goes with that. And then there's some random ones here and there, but you know.
Yeah.
You know, now you're bringing that up. You made me realize how much of myself is in my schedule. So I think on every Friday, I'm like, you know what? Fridays are special. And my short attention span allows me to do something different every week. Like, yeah, I know we might have been playing the same game for like 5 days straight, but now it's Friday, guys. And we're not gaming. We're doing something wild.
Yeah. And yeah, I think it just reflects who you are at that point. You're like, oh yeah, you know, this is me. This feels right. It fits.
Yeah.
And that's what fits. Fridays just make Chelsea and
Fridays are random.
Yeah, they're just random days. It's perfect.
That was why when we were setting up the Sugar Axe schedule, I was like, what if just Fridays are dating sim day? We'll call it Fall in Love Fridays.
Yes.
I love that.
And when we finish,
Alliteration.
when we finish Dream Daddy, I'm gonna make him play Hot to Full Boyfriend, and he has no idea what it's gonna be.
Oh, it's gonna be terribly amazing.
Yep.
I'm ready.
Nice.
Because he was looking at the game, he goes, "Wait, why is it pigeons?" I was like, don't look up anymore. It'll be great for the community.
wait.
Oh, you'll
Don't
learn.
worry about all
You'll
that
learn.
other stuff. Yeah.
So I presume you all are going to kick us off in about 10. Yes, you're holding a sign
Yes.
that says you're going to kick us off in 10 minutes. We have other stuff that we can talk about, but we also wanted to spend a little bit of time if you have specific questions for your own work, things that you're trying to do or things that you're getting into. So if anybody's got any questions, if you want to shoot a hand in the air, we are happy to take them. Otherwise, we can just keep talking about stuff that we had planned to talk about.
I'll keep talking. So
That's your brand.
yeah, that's me
We're-
at this point. Yeah.
We're all on Twitch. We're very good at just talking.
Yes.
So,
We don't need to have even a subject matter, really. It's-
No.
You don't even have people in the room.
All right. Yes.
So I stream on Twitch, and most of what I stream is gameplay, but I also do cosplay on the side, and that's kind of where I'm trying to shift my channel a little bit. But the thing that keeps hanging me up is like the technical aspect of like getting the second camera, like making sure my
Second camera.
computer can hold like the load, and you know, what do I do with like all these like little bits of thread that are gonna get into my keyboard? And so I don't know if any of you guys can speak to any of that.
Now,
So,
second
wait,
camera
Wait,
is
hold on.
Oh, we're gonna
Quick
have
repeat of the
unmuted.
question,
Yeah.
since we are on Twitch right now, and there are people who definitely could not hear you at all.
Yeah.
The question was, I'm doing a little bit of gaming right now, but I would also like to get into cosplay, and I'm trying to figure out things like, what do I do about a second camera? What do I do about keeping things like fabric and hairs out of my keyboard? What kind of advice do we have for someone who wants to expand into that?
Right now, it's been really hard for the last year to get a second camera. Obviously, we all know this.
Yep.
When I was doing like the Lego streams and the cooking streams, it's like I do need a second camera, but I also wanted something that could be portable, that you're not going to be stuck with wires. You're going to be able to walk it around. There is an app for the iPhone, and I think it's on Android too. It's the Elgato Epot Cam app. It is a free app, and literally it connects to your PC through the same wireless network that your computer is on. And you can literally, and it's actually a better camera than the one that I put on the computer.
The phones are really good. It's
And like,
upsetting.
so you can literally put it on a tripod and you can carry it around the house. Like when I do a cooking stream, like carry it over to the pot. Like you can, and it really goes really well. There's a paid version of the app, which has the microphone to it, but I don't need that because I already got the microphone. I just needed the extra camera, but it works out really well. And I've had no issues with it. And I've been using it for a year. And I love the portability. I like the not wires. I like, there really isn't any issues with it, and it comes out super, super clear.
And so you're using your phone camera.
Yeah, because I have my main camera, and then usually when I do my Lego streams, I'll have it on like the little tripod, and it's like looking down so you can see the Lego stuff, and it comes out. It works really well, and it's been probably I tried it once with another camera, and there was just too much stuff plugged in there, too many wires, and I want to move it, and I want to change it, and it makes it super difficult.
There's one oh sorry, go ahead.
I will say, if you're looking to get your hands on a webcam, whether it's your first or your second, go direct to the manufacturer's website and order. They'll let you do single order. Logitech has been just like the whole time with the pandemic.
Logitech
It's like,
has been so good to us.
Logitech is amazing.
I can't get anything in a Best Buy or a Staples, but if I go to the Logitech
Yeah.
website, there they are.
Yeah, and Logitech will also, because we use the Brio, and we have a 3-camera studio, and we had to get more, and they put us on a mailing list where we got an email the instant it was in stock, and it was just like, click here to purchase.
Nice.
So like, it's not those emails where it's like, well, we have them now. Good luck. Logitech's like, click, buy it, go.
I feel that, and that was a really good suggestion. There's also, I'm not sure if you use OBS, so you use the studio. There are certain like plugins and things that you can finagle with. I know with my Samsung, I can capture my phone directly. Like there's an actual Samsung app if you ever just want to share something on your phone, but also if you would like to use the phone as a second camera, there are also other Android solutions as well. I can't recall them off the top of my head, but they work directly with OBS.
Because like with the Elgato app, it actually, if you turn on OBS and have the app open, it automatically will pick it up as a camera source.
Nice.
Which is nice because you're not having to be like, okay, it's here somewhere. It'll literally trigger it itself and it'll pick it up automatically.
So I'll say two things with it. One, definitely get into the Dragon Con Digital Media Discord because there's a whole section for Tech Talk, and you can ask amazing people questions about that. I'll also say a lot of trial and error, which I know is kind of a silly thing. So I did a how to dance stream early on in pandemic because I'm also a dance teacher. So I put at the time it was my laptop and my cell phone into a Google Hangout together so I could have one camera on my feet and one camera on my whole body. And we streamed it to Facebook Live. Was it good? No, but it worked. And I was like, okay, so now I know. Like it was because I needed people to be able to see my feet. And I was like, this is a very weird specific thing. I don't know how to work this. So I tried that. So then when it came to the art stuff, and I had originally been working on like a Wacom tablet that was off to the side, I was like, no, it's fine because I've got this here, my monitor here, my keyboard. But when I got my actual tablet, I'm like, oh no, now this takes up more space. So now I have to move my keyboard and it tucks over here. So one stream, whether I even go live or not, I'll just test it. Be like, okay, how does this feel? If my camera is here, I'm looking here. How does this feel for creating art? Oh no, I'm twisting in my chair for 6 hours. That's bad. Don't do that. So even just testing out stuff, and like they've talked, even if you go on stream, be like, hey folks, you know what, today I might only be on for an hour, but I'm going to test and see how this feels. How does it sound? Can you still hear me on my mic if I put my mic here, and working around that part of it? And then, going back, rearrange, be like, I didn't like how that felt. Try it again through that. So the trial and error, but also I can't speak highly enough for the people in the Tech Talk digital media stuff, because they are so excited to answer your questions whether you think they're stupid or not. Trust me, I know. I ask a lot of stupid questions because I don't know, and that community. So anybody, especially even if you get a cosplay streamer that you really, really like, you could pop into chat and be like, hey, how did you do your setup? How do you deal with fibers and collection? Do you put down like tape strips to collect stuff and that part? And I'm positive they'd be thrilled to give you more feedback for what they do.
Quick cheat on the fibers out of the keyboard, throwback from the 90s. Get a box top of printer paper boxes, cut a little hole on the end and pop that over your keyboard, and you just slide your hands in to type, and it keeps everything from getting into the keyboard.
That's what I do for the diamond painting streams.
Blowing our
I
minds
put
right
the
now.
diamond painting on top of the on the box on top of the keyboard. That way it's right underneath the camera, but they don't have to overthink it.
If you want to get in on that Discord, that is tiny.cc/DCDM Discord. DragonCon Digital Media DCDM Discord. I think we've got time for one more if we're really quick. And I saw somebody approaching the mic. I think. Yes. Come on up to this here, Mike.
Come on up here.
So I stream IRL pinball, which involves going to
Nice.
arcades, bars. I've got a lot of people in the background that I have no control over. So one of my biggest concerns is dealing with DMCA or terms of service, outside of things that I have, I can deal with. So for example, the pinball machine is based on a band. Well, can't stream that one because if I catch its audio, that could be a copyright strike. If I'm at a bar, I hope there's not a jukebox. So there's a lot of stuff like that. And currently my solution is turn off VODs, turn off clips, and just hope nobody notices me. But I know that that's not a scalable solution. So at what point do you have to try to find a real solution, and what is it?
How much do you talk during your stream?
I talk a whole lot, but now we're still dodging it, right? It's just like if I talk, no, then it's not going to get caught by Twitch's algorithm. But the copyright holders' algorithm's way better than Twitch's.
What I would suggest personally is get a lavalier mic, clip it inside your mask, and then turn off any audio input from your camera so that you're not getting any sound. You're only getting your voice, and set the gate a little higher so that you're guaranteed to only get when you're talking. And then any background noise, you're going to have your voice over it. You won't be in as much trouble. But just that way you're getting an audio feed that is only your voice and not the environment.
That makes sense. Like right now I use a condenser mic because it's great to have the ambiance of an arcade, but that completely...
Well, and you can get you like a royalty-free arcade ambience.
I was gonna say almost just play an audio in the background that is just generic sounds.
Yeah.
Right, but no, my people are like way too nerdy. They'll be like, that's the wrong sound for that.
Oh, no, I feel you on that.
That is a Miss Pac-Man, and I heard the noises from a Pac-Man.
Just throw the title like DMCA friendly stream.
No, I think for you, because for immediately I start tackling it from the other end. Do you record your streams?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are you actively recording it so it?
Yeah, I do stream and local recording, so I can grab it at higher bit rate if I want to do editing. Which, I always tell myself I want to do it, and then I go, I hate editing.
I know. And with that, so then that's perfect, because if you're trying not to get caught on Twitch, what I do with my music, specifically, thank goodness I don't have any. I mean, you might run it in video games. It does happen.
Sure.
Like in some games, the whatever dev is like, we're gonna throw that in there, and then it's like, this just ruins everything for me. But I'll put my music on a separate track, and that takes it out because they have this VOD support now. Oh, wait, what'd you say?
I do that where I can.
Yeah,
and I can't do it for the pinball stuff though, because the problem is the mic is going to pick up the game.
With that, I would definitely do what she said and record your.
Right, a lavalier makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and record on a separate track, so all the music's not interrupting, and then you can edit it lightly. Because, like I said, I hate it. So you just place that over, line it up, and then you can throw whatever music you want, or just keep the audio that you had, and so your voice can prevail over that.
Change the levels.
Yeah, exactly. So just more control. That's what I think I'd do that for you.
And
that's interesting.
Your community might notice that the sounds are wrong, but at the end of the day, they should care enough about you as a creator to be like, yeah, that's okay.
Well, they'll care about it just enough to make fun of me for the whole time. It's basically I'm adding content.
That's the bit. Commit to the bit.
That's a good community.
Yeah, that's all the time we have right now. Just super quickly, where can we find you next, Faydra?
On Twitch, Tuesday. 11 a.m.
Perfect.
Not
Emily.
sure what I'm doing.
Across
yet,
the internet at a swan named Emily. Also tonight with Sketching Shakespeare at 8:30 p.m. Come draw with me.
I will be back on track tomorrow at 5:30 talking about schedule management.
Woo!
I'll be with you. Also talking about schedule management, I believe.
Hey.
Heck
Hell
yeah.
It's gonna be lit. And you can find me on Twitch. I'll probably stream around 3:30 here in DragonCon. It's gonna be wild.
And you can find me tonight streaming, producing an actual play versus playing TTRPGs at home. And then Sunday at 4 p.m. I will be in 7, Avoiding the Sophomore Slump, Season 2 and beyond. And then you can find ATL by Night on Twitch or Sugar Axe on Twitch.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you all so much for joining us.
Woo, 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Y'all did it.
The
This
bright,
is an
the
active
bright and
10 a.m.
early DragonCon crowd.
Yeah.
It's a really good 10 a.m. crowd.
Yeah.
Y'all get yourselves
Thank
some
you,
kudos.
everyone, so much.
Thank y'all. Y'all were so good. Yeah. Here, let me let you go first. It was great playing with you again. Look at me playing with you again, Emily.
Yes.
I'm a character.
I mean, you look fantastic. So
You might not recognize her in the wake, but Alice is very Mary Marvel.
Copy is important.
Copy is important.
Yeah, I'll probably bug y'all later.
Hell yeah.
Yes, please always bug me.
Oh, no.
I always want to talk to you more.
I'm gonna introduce you to my Chelsea in a minute.
All right, that'll work.
I like when he gets on dad voice.
Emily's like, I dance and I paint on stream. But gaming's not, that's so embarrassing. How do you do that? I'm so bad at nowadays. I think that's why it's funny. Like, I've been playing through social where the characters are playing, like, I don't know how to play. And I'm really holding on. I'm going, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm not dying.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, not dead.
we do Patreon episodes
Oh,
once a month,
Yeah.
and so we just kind of grab different people to come on and join. So if you're interested, once we get through the fucking craziness that is DragonCon, we would love to have you.
Absolutely.
Dope. Let me get your socials and shit.
Yeah, exactly. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually reach out to you, but I have your email, because I'm very sick of these.
It's just podcast.
And we're gonna go through so many episodes.
Yeah.
We do our research over here.
Oh, good luck. It's,
That's what I like to hear. I love hearing that. Watch podcasts, gmail.com. All right, cool.
Your husband channel when it comes tonight.
Yeah, no, to the,
That's how, more than likely it'll be full, but I'll make sure we have some food.
Are you talking about what?